Hello everybody and welcome back to Manifest with Finesse on YouTube. My name is Manifesting Gaia. That is my Twitter, TikTok, and podcast. All the links are down below. And my affirmations list email and rampage email is down below. And today we're going to be talking about how to work on self-concept, because this is one of the number one things you guys ask me how to do when it's really simple, but I'm making an updated how to work on self-concept video because y'all love self-concept. Stop asking people how to manifest. Stop asking me how to manifest. Stop making your manifestation your number one priority in this lifetime. Stop making having your desire in the physical 3D your number one goal in the entire world. Stop desiring and just accept that you have it. Stop trying to force your reality to be a certain way and just be. Stop asking about your circumstances. Stop thinking your circumstances are so unique that manifestation won't work for you. Stop thinking that your circumstances are so unique that how you usually manifest just somehow won't work because your circumstances are so unique. Stop checking 3D. Stop thinking that your circumstances are so special that you need a personalized video on your specific circumstance instead of just watching a video on how circumstances don't matter, period. If you relate to any of those things, or if you have trouble not doing any of those things, or if you're doing any or all of those things, you need to work on your self-concept. I'm not entertaining anything else. Stop with the questions. Stop with the excuses. I cannot manifest for you. I will not manifest for you. First of all, I'm a teacher. My whole point is you don't need me after you understand how to do something. Why would you want me to have all the power in your reality in the first place? Like, oh, can you help me manifest a job? Okay, let's say I do that, boom, then every single thing you want, you're gonna come to me. No, go to yourself. Validate yourself. This is what self-concept is. Validating your own self, so you don't need somebody else or anything outside of yourself to be your God or to be your power source. Nothing else but you should be your power source, point blank. So what is self-concept? Well, when you're manifesting something, your focus should be yourself, not that thing. There's this debate going on about like, oh, I don't get when people say not to want something in the 3D but only be fulfilled in the imagination, or there's no such thing as doing a technique to get. I'm gonna say this once and for all, and I'm not gonna talk about it no more. Number one, we want our desires in the 3D reality. Like, it's obvious. But let me tell you something. If you keep saying, I want it in the 3D, and you keep reinforcing, I don't have it in the 3D, then you're just never going to have it. Number two, there is nothing that is going to show up in the 3D that you do not fulfill yourself with. And fulfillment comes through the imagination or through the internal world. So you can want something in the 3D all day, but if your focus is not changing who you are, ain't nothing going to show up. So why would I focus on something that is just a byproduct of me changing myself? That is why we say, don't make the focus a thing in the 3D. We get it. Like, you want the specific person, you want the money, you want the job. Who cares? You're not getting anything. First of all, you're not getting anything. Like, we're not doing things to get. Second of all, you're not getting anything being the version of you who just wants 3D, 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 3D. Number two, when we say don't do techniques to get, but people are like, oh, well, your subconscious doesn't know the difference. It doesn't make a difference because affirmations, whatever people be saying. Let me break this down in simple terms. Yes, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what you're telling yourself or what you're visualizing. It doesn't know that it's not something you're actually experiencing in the 3D. Which, that's why the 3D doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. Like, 3D just doesn't matter. Doing something to get is a conscious thing. If there was no such thing as affirming to get or doing something to get or whatever, then every single time people used affirmations or visualized, they would get it. Every single person that did the 10,000 affirmation challenge would have gotten it. Why didn't it work? Because there's all this science, which I believe in. There is all this science on, okay, this many repetitions make something a fact, and the neuroplasticity will strengthen, and the neurons will fire together, and that'll create the belief, and the beliefs will create, so boom. And then this is also why the whole states versus affirming thing happened, because people hate affirming because they were affirming to get, and I'm going to explain it once and for all. I don't know if people are being dental on purpose or people hate admitting when they're wrong, but this is what it is. So, yes, your subconscious doesn't know the difference. Why do people affirm for years and nothing happens? Because they are not changing themselves. Because they are affirming to get. Meaning, affirming to get is a conscious mind thing. If we had no conscious mind, we would all manifest instantly, because there would be nothing telling us that it's not working, that we can't do it. If you are doing any technique, especially affirmations, just to see SP. Oh, I need this text message, so I'm going to affirm 6,000 times a day, and if it doesn't show up, then I'm going to cry. Does that sound like somebody? Does that sound like somebody who is going to manifest a text message anytime soon? No, because they are affirming to get something in the 3D. They are doing a technique to force something in the 3D. And I always say to y'all, if your end goal is just to force something in the 3D, you might as well not do the technique at all. You might as well not manifest at all, because there's no point. Like, it's just not going to work. That is why affirming doesn't work for everybody, because your identity is messed up. Like, you're doing stuff as this version of you who lacks it. You're telling yourself, I lack this thing, so I'm going to affirm 10,000 times and make this thing show up. And this is my problem, is it all comes down to y'all's obsession with the 3D. There is nothing you can physically do. That includes techniques, that includes affirmations, visualizations, scripting. I don't care if you write something down 6 million billion times. There is nothing you can physically do to make something show up in your 3D, because you're not making anything do anything, because you're not getting anything. You are becoming. 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 If you just become the person who already has it in your imagination, it will show up, because the 3D isn't your job to change. What is not getting? You are not getting anything in the 3D, because the 3D is not your job to change. The 3D changes on its own. Do you really think because you affirmed 10,000 times that is why they shoot 3D change? Or do you think it was because you changed who you are? Because repetition can work in becoming somebody else, but that is when you take away the element of trying to get something, trying to force something. If you believe in trying to get, I don't care. Like, I really don't care at the end of the day. Like, that's your prerogative. But what I'm saying is, you're not getting jack shit, because there's nothing to get. If the whole point in manifestation is identifying with it, then it's contradictory to try to get something. Oh, I already have a text from SP, but let me go and affirm 60 million times so that I can get the text. So do you have it or not? Like, affirming to get is real, and you should be fulfilled in the imagination. Like, I don't understand why y'all make excuses for the 3D. Well, I'm gonna affirm to get in the 3D because it doesn't make a difference to the subconscious mind. That's like, oh my god, how can I get my reflection to do a backflip when you're denying that you have to do it? It's not about the reflection. You're not getting your reflection to do anything. You are doing what you want to happen first. Anyways, that's just my little rant. It honestly wasn't that deep, but I keep seeing it and it's really annoying. Like, it's just common sense to me. But it's to me. You know what I mean? Like, I spend a lot of time like trying to understand this stuff, not just like regurgitating, or not just like, oh, it's just spiritual woo woo. Like, you guys know that I like to understand and I like to explain stuff, because I hate seeing people literally like kill themselves over affirming. You don't need to do that, and that's because you're trying to get. You want to sit here and tell me why the people who ruined their mental health over affirming, why that happened? Because they were trying to get when there was nothing to get. Anyways, back to self-concept. When you manifest something, your focus should be on you, not that thing. Because you don't manifest through wanting that thing. You could want something for a million years and never have it. You manifest through the way you see yourself in relation to that thing. And how you see yourself is self-concept, who you identify as. So if it's a specific person, I break self-concept down in 3 parts. 1, it's how you see yourself. 2, it's how you see that general area. So specific person would be relationships. And 3 is how you see that specific person. So if I'm manifesting a specific person, how do I see myself? Period. Manifestation. Am I powerful? Do I think I'm powerful? Do I think it's easy? Do I think the circumstances don't matter? Do I think as long as I'm doing XYZ, then it's guaranteed to me? How do I see relationships? Do I see all men as cheaters? Do I see all women as cheaters? Do I see relationship as hard? Do I see it as arguments every day? And then how do I see a specific person? How do I specifically see Maria? Is Maria the most loving girl? Does she look at me all the time? Does she give me all the attention in the world? Boom, 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 boom. So I break it down in 3 parts. You do what you want to do, but that's how I like to do it. I do how I see myself, which is the most important. It's about you. It's not about the thing. How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? Are you powerful or not? Do you have this thing or not? Are you the operant power or not? How do you see this area of your life? How do you see money? Is money hard to come by? Do you have to work extra hard? Is money scarce? Is money evil? How do you see jobs? Is it easy to get a job? Is there a lack of jobs? Does the company you want to work for, are they offering mad positions? And then how do you see the specific aspect? Your health specifically. How are you seeing your health? Doctors told me that I've been cleared of this disease. This disease doesn't exist in my body. I'm free of this disease, whatever. Boom. Like, one of the number one reasons why people don't have what they want is because their self-concept sucks. They don't see themselves as having this thing because they don't see themselves as worthy of this thing. They have this thing on the pedestal. They see this thing as hard to have, hard to come by, hard to get. You see yourself as powerless in relation to your circumstances. Whereas if you understood that you create the circumstances, this is why we don't preach about doing stuff to get or doing stuff to change the 3D, because it takes away that you're creating it. There is nothing to get because you are creating. So if you see yourself as powerless in relation to your circumstances, it's not because of the circumstances themselves, because the circumstances don't exist. You are assigning meaning. If you don't see a text on your phone in the 3D from a job or a specific person, that doesn't mean they're not texting you. That doesn't mean they're not thinking about you. That doesn't mean they're about to. That doesn't mean they haven't accepted your application, or college or school. It doesn't mean they haven't accepted your application. It doesn't mean that they're not literally in love with you. You just assign that negative meaning. And then because you assign that negative meaning to your circumstances, they can't progress in the way that you want. So you see how you have to change your concept of self. Like, no, everything always works out for me. Why wouldn't they be in love with me? I'm literally the best candidate. I'm the best option. I'm number one. I'm the prize. I'm chosen. I'm wanted. All that good stuff. You can't be assigning bad meanings to circumstances, but the meanings you assign to circumstances is going to tell me where your self-concept is. If you assign bad meanings to every single thing, then you have a bad self-concept, because you, first of all, you're giving your power away. And you're not seeing things always working out for you. Like, I don't care what it is. It should be, it is working. It is movement. It is working in my favor. The power that you're giving to the circumstances is the power you should be giving to yourself, instead of falling victim to your own disbeliefs. It does not matter what it is. It does not have power. I don't care if it's a distance thing. I don't care if you're in a long distance relationship and you're like, oh my God, like, how will they wouldn't want a long distance relationship, or how would it work? I don't care if you met them once, or I don't care if they don't even know your name. They don't even follow you on social media. They don't know you exist. You don't know that. You don't know that for a fact. If I said, all right, bet your whole life savings on this person who doesn't know you, they don't know you exist, you would be dumb to bet it, because you don't know anything for a fact. You're deciding the facts in your reality. I don't care if you live in this part of the world and you want to move to this part of the world, but you don't know nobody, you don't have enough money, I don't care what the circumstances. It does not have power over yourself, because you are assigning that negative meaning. There's people who every month have just enough for their rent, but they're also the type of people that are like, I'm choosing experiences over rent, or like they'll still go shopping, or they'll still go to a concert, even though they don't physically have enough for both paying rent and this experience. But they have the mindset that no matter what, I'm going to make this money back. I don't care. Somehow, some way, I'm going to make the money back. But I'm not choosing a basic necessity, or I'm not choosing between two good experiences. I'm not choosing between having a roof over my head or going out with my friends. And then somehow they always make the money, and they were able to have the experience and have the rent. They did it without working harder. They did it without having to go force the reality, oh, how can I make money in 3 days? They did it without having a business, without having to ask somebody for money. It's because they started identifying with, I'm going to make the money back, and I'm going to have this experience because I said so, because I'm in control, because I'm not settling for either a roof over my head or having a memory that I enjoy. So you are familiarizing your brain with this new identity, your most lucky self, your most abundant self, your most opportunist self, your most rich self, your most smart self, your most successful self, most wanted and chosen self. Imagine if the longer you focused on you, the more your reality would shift the way you wanted it to. That's exactly what happens when you focus on self-concept. When you start telling yourself them stories of you being your most lucky self, your most abundant self, your reality must shift to reflect that. This works because whenever we think of things outside of us, we think of ourselves in relation. So if you think about your specific person, you're always thinking about them and how they feel about you. If you think about, okay, Jacob, oh my God, why won't he text me? Oh my God, he doesn't like me. Why? If you think about your job, you don't just think about the company you want to work for. You think about it in relation to you. Like, oh my God, I wish I was working for that company. Why am I not good enough? What am I missing? Like, why didn't they hire me? So you're already doing it. Anytime you think of something outside of you, you're already thinking of yourself in relation to it. That is why the key is changing how you think about yourself. You're not changing that thing. So you're always telling a story, but a lot of you guys have that separation. Like, oh, the stories I tell myself, they have nothing to do with a specific person or money or a job. Like if I tell myself I'm so lucky, I'm chosen, I'm wanted, that will not affect my situation with a specific person or money or my job or my health. That is not true. That is not true, because you are always telling yourself a story about you in relation to everything. If you tell yourself, I'm successful in all areas of my life, isn't love an area of your life? Isn't finances an area of your life? Isn't health, school, work an area of your life? It is insanity to think that someone else can hold a story of you that you don't even hold about yourself. All y'all want to do is focus on SP. All you want to do is focus on this job. You don't even see yourself as loving and trusting and whatever. This desire is just a vessel of who you are. So if you don't see yourself as desired, what in the world makes you think that you're going to hold a story that SP sees you as desired when you can't even see yourself? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you can't even see yourself, you're not going to be able to go through another person or another desire just to come back to see you as worthy. You don't see yourself as it. You need to change yourself. Create the story of who you are as the highest version of yourself, the luckiest person, the most loved person, and then align all of your inner conversations to that story. Stop using your past to validate your crappy circumstances. Oh, well, he said he never wants to talk to me anymore. He said he never wants to talk to me again. He blocked me. I don't care. Like, that has nothing to do. It does not matter. That does not matter. If you saw yourself as more powerful, it wouldn't matter to you either. Again, if you can't even hold the story about yourself, why would they be able to hold the story about you? If you don't even see yourself as worthy of being unblocked or worthy of being talked to again, why would you think you would be able to hold a story that they would see you like that? So decide what's more important, complaining or changing. And then you find a routine that allows you to implement this new story. I like affirming. I just like telling myself who I want to be. I love telling myself that I'm the person who has it all. I love telling myself that everything else works out for me. I love telling myself that I'm successful and that I'm rich and that I'm happy and that I have amazing friends. I don't care if you visualize it. I don't care if you script it. I don't care if you just change your inner conversations about it, because people are like, oh, what are ways other than affirming? I just said visualizing, scripting, changing inner conversations, affirmation tapes, subliminals, sats. But if you are using sleep tapes at nighttime when you're sleeping, that does not mean you do not have to monitor yourself during the day. You don't get to just put on a sleep tape and then talk to yourself like crap when you're awake and then think that something's going to happen. You have to stay on top of yourself in the waking hours. Obviously, it's easy to make the change when you're sleeping because you're not telling yourself negative stories in your sleep. It's when you're awake, you are changing those negative stories you keep telling yourself. And most important, do not ask me, because I just said this. If, oh, we're working on myself and taking the focus off of SP, manifest them, you will know the answer when you successfully work on your self-concept, when you actually put the focus on just you. That is ridiculous. This is exactly why we're working on it. How am I literally telling you that your beliefs are giving you this crappy circumstances and you're like, okay, so will it change the circumstances if I work on myself? You need to care more about yourself. Stand up. If you work on self-concept, you won't be so codependent on another individual to make you feel better about yourself. When you choose yourself, you become a magnet and everything comes back to you tenfold. Not just your SP, but your ex and your ex situationship. Not just money from a random check, but you get a raise and you find money on the ground or you win a giveaway. Opportunities come back. Lost items come back. Like things you lost like 2 years ago, you find. Like you become a magnet when you work on that self-concept. Stop seeking validation for your desires. You are the validation. Your reality is the stories that you tell yourself. So if you want better health, you have to tell yourself that story. Shift your focus back to, I have it. I'm powerful. Every time your mind asks you the limiting questions, where is it? But when? But how? But why? I'm powerful. I got it. I'm the upper power. If I say I have it, then I do. I'm chosen. I'm loved. I'm wanted. Get a piece of paper. Write out all the limiting beliefs you have about yourself, about your desire, about your life. I don't think I'm good enough. It's so hard to make money. I don't have good friends. There's nobody in my town that I find attractive, whatever. Now realize these limiting beliefs are your perceptions. They're the stories you have been telling yourself. That's the stuff you repeat in your mind all day. You see how messy you are? You see how messy you are? Now create counter beliefs for that thing. So if your limiting belief is I come from a struggling family, you will create the belief that, first of all, my parents' story doesn't dictate mine. Second of all, just because something has been some way for 6 generations, I can be the change I seek to experience. Money's all around me. It is easier today more than ever to make more money, etc. You gotta tell yourself all the reasons why you're good enough to have it, all the reasons why it's so easy, all the reasons why you'll get it, all the possible ways you can even think of that you could possibly get it. And that's it, guys. That is literally it. That is how you work on self-concept. It is stories, it is identities, it is beliefs. You change that about yourself, not the thing, yourself first. You will change your life. And with that being said, that is all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, you can have anything you want in this universe. Nothing's too big, small, wide, or expensive. I believe in you. You should believe in you. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!